Hello dear Cut and Sew Tribe, welcome to Cut and Sew Tribe YouTube channel. Thank you all for subscribing to this channel. So we're going to continue from where we stopped in our last tutorial. So we're going to sew all the pieces we cut in our last tutorial together. If you have not watched that tutorial, I want to encourage you to do so that you can get the whole gist. As you can see right now, I have cut my lining with all the fabric we have cut, and right now I am cutting my wadding. So you need to cut your wadding for the front pieces just like I am doing right now. So go ahead and cut all the wadding the same way I am doing, and we're going to meet on the sewing machine. So the first thing I'll be doing right now is to join the front pieces, that part together. So I'm going to join it together like this. I'll put the side, one of the side on the center front. So if you want to join your bustier together, I advise you join from the down part, following the same thing I'm doing right now, and you make sure you join it together with your seam allowance. Do not exceed your seam allowance so that it will not affect the shape of your cup. So after joining this one, now I'm going to join the second one. Can you see it? If you follow what we did in the first video, this is how your cup should come out. So I'm going to join the second side together with it so that we can have complete fabric. So after joining the two together, after joining the three pieces together, this is what you should have. The next thing I will bring up now is going to be the yoke band. Can you see it? So you are going to join it from the center. Make sure you set it and they both align properly. So I love joining, anytime I'm joining things like sweater neckline, I love joining from the center, and that is why I started from that place. So you're going to join it on your seam allowance. You know, we added half-inch seam allowance to the fabric, so make sure you join it carefully. Now you join the other side, so you notch that part so that you can have access to the other side and sew it together. So as you are joining, make sure you arrange properly so that your fabric will not pack under. So backstitch and cut out your thread. Can you see it? Everything is laying properly. So this is what you should have. The next thing we are going to join now is the net, which is the main yoke. Now you have to turn the neck of the yoke. Do you get it? Now you remember we cut two pieces, so you are going to use one of the nets to turn the other. So I'm going to turn the neck first before attaching it to the main body. Make sure you don't exceed your seam allowance, and you make sure you don't pull the net while sewing it. Do you get it now? Because the net has the tendency of stretching, so you don't want to pull it so that everything will rest perfectly. Now before I attach it to the down part, I'm going to turn it inside out, and I will take it to the ironing table. So I will need to iron down the neck so that it can rest properly. So it is better you iron it now before joining it. And I'm going to iron that part of the net, so I just want to hold it together. I'll hold it together like this. So I'll take the two of them to the ironing table. I'm going to iron down the band and the net. So I've ironed the two together, I've ironed it down, and we can now go ahead and attach it to the down part. So now, can you see it? So for you to have your yoke to rest properly, that pointed part, you can just bring it out by 0.5 inch. It's good you do that so that your yoke will relax very well. So, and you go ahead and sew it down. I love doing it from the center like that. It is going to be very easy for you when you are sewing. So you are going to do the second side just like we did for the band. It's the same thing. So now we can call this one, we are sewing our double sweater neckline. So you bring it out and you're going to have this. Can you see how relaxed the net is? So I've joined my lining. Can you see it? Just follow the same process we used to join the down part of the fabric. It's just the same thing. So now you know where I've turned the neckline, so we're going to use the lining just to turn from the band of the yoke. So you make sure right side is facing right side, just like I am trying to do, and you are going to sew it down. Make sure you do not exceed the initial thread so that it will not pack the yoke. So I just sew it down. I've sewn down the lining and you can see that we have concealed that part. So can you see it? This is what you should have. I'm going to turn the side, both sides, in with the lining as well, just to have neat finishing inside. So this is another way of having neat finishing if you don't want to serge it, or you don't want to do perfect inseam finishing. So this method too is very nice way of achieving neat finishing. So I'll sew these two sides. I'm going to turn it in with lining. Can you see? Just turn it inside out, and this is what you should have. So I've been able to turn it in. I'll still take it to the ironing table and press it down. So I've ironed it down. Can you see it? That everything is now relaxing. So the next thing we're going to do now is to join the waistband. I cut two pieces of waistband. So the first one, I place it right side facing right side on the fabric, and the second one I place it under the lining, right side also facing the lining. So meaning the fabric will be in between the two bands. Can you see it? And you're going to sew it down by 1/2 inch. So let me just go and do that now, and we'll come and continue. So I've sewn it down. Can you see it? Now like that, I've been able to conceal the uh seam allowance there, and it is very neat. So the next thing we're going to do now is to work on the skirt pieces. So the skirt, the piece for the front, there is band at the center, so that is why I am cutting that part open. You are going to fold your skirt pieces into 2 equal halves. So can you see it? And you cut it open separately like that. So you are going to have 2 pieces, and you're going to bring in your band for the skirt. So I have 2.5 inches. For the yoke band and the waistband we used 1.5, so cutting it and adding seam allowance as well will give us 2.5 inches. So I have 2.5 inches here as well. Everything must rhyme. So by the time I use half inch to join it together with the main bodies, so the band is going to be 1.5. So I've joined it together. Can you see it? And we now have one single piece again for the front. So, and I've been able to iron it down. So the next thing we're going to do now is I'm going to take my lining. So I'm going to sew it down from the down part, because that fabric, the skirt, is longer than the actual measurement. So I'm going to sew it at the hem first. I will use 0.5, rather 0.5 inch to sew it down. And after sewing it, can you see it? I'm going to pull it up. I'll pull it up and make sure everything is equal at the waist. I'll sew it down, make sure everything is equal at the waist, and sew the 2 sides as well. So let me go and do that, and we'll come and continue. I've sewn down the skirt. Can you see it? So I decided to show you so that you see what I'm talking about very well. After sewing it down, I iron it down. So I am bringing up the back pieces as well, just to show you the same thing, because I added the fabric. The fabric is longer than the actual measurement. That is why we have that fabric showing. So now I left about 5 inches without sewing around the waist. Can you see it? And the reason is so that I can use it to turn my fabric. So I'm going to place the upper bodies on it like so. Can you see it? Right side facing right side. So I'm going to sew it down on 1/2 inch without the lining. So you need to be very careful when you are sewing it. You make sure you sew it without the lining. So you are going to sew the main fabric and the upper bodies together on your seam allowance, which is 1/2 inch. So I'll go and do that now. So you need to use your lining to turn the waist. That is why we left that 5 inches, so that I'll be able to turn it inside out through that place. So I'll just go ahead and turn it. Can you see the way I'm using the lining to wrap that place? So I'll go and sew it down, and I'll put my hand inside that 5 inches I left just to turn it. So let me go and do that now. I'll come and do the next. So you do the same thing for the back pieces. Can you see it? Right side facing right side, and you're going to use the lining to turn it. So I've sewn it down, and this is what we have. Can you see it? So I'll put my hand inside that 5 inches I left, and I'm going to drag out the upper bodice because the upper bodice is now inside the skirt. So if you do not leave that opening, you won't be able to turn it inside out like this. Now can you see what we have on the waist? So this is very nice and very neat, and as you can see, our band width, they are the same. So I'll put my hand inside the back piece and I'll bring it out as well. So we have concealed our waistline with the lining. So I'll just take it back to the sewing machine and close down that part, and we have it like that. So I've sewn down the opening. The next thing now, and I've gone ahead to fix my zipper, yes, for the back. So you need to do that so that it will be very easy for you to take your measurements. The next thing to do now is to join the front pieces and back pieces together on the shoulder. So I'm going to join the two shoulders together, and after that we'll come and shape this dress. We are almost done with this tutorial. So for the slits, I finish up my slit. I left about, it depends on your preference, but I left about 20 inches opening on the slit for ease of movement, and I finish it up using my hemming gum. So can you see it? I've ironed it down, I've sealed it down. So another thing I used to do anytime I use hemming gum like that, I'll just try and tack it down strategically. So I've worked on my sleeve as well. Now you have two options here on your for your sleeve. If you like, you can just fold in like 1 inch for elastic casing to gather the hem of your sleeve, but in my own case I use band. So for the band width, you can cut like 3 inches and you fold in half on one edge with your iron, just like I did. So fold in the half, and after that folding you refold again to have it in double. So I've done this for the second sleeve. I'll go and do the second sleeve as well. I will just finish it up with a band. Like I said, it is optional. You can either use elastic or you use this method. So I'll take the fabric back to the sewing machine. I'm going to join the shoulders together before we can come and shape the side and fix our sleeve. So let me take it to the sewing machine. Right now I've sewn the shoulders together. Can you see how neat they are? Now let's go ahead and just shape our dress. While shaping your dress, make sure you use your own accurate body measurement. Measure properly so that your work can come out very nice. Now after shaping the dress, I'm going to fix my sleeves. So I'll fix my sleeve and I'm going to finish up the armhole. I'm going to serge it. So if you don't have serging machine, you can pipe it, just achieve a very neat finishing. That is the purpose of what you are doing, and I'm going to display it on the mannequin for us to see. All right, thank you guys for watching. This is the end of the tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. So if you do, kindly subscribe to this channel for more interesting tutorial. Give us thumbs up, share your final dress with us on our sewing group, cut and sew tribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. I'll see you soon. Bye.